So, thanks Dave for that. And as I mentioned, we're going to watch a video. The video is from the Answers in Genesis group, which we use their material some for our Bible classes. And I don't know how many of you know of Ken Ham. He's a fairly well-known for his efforts in speaking about the creation and those kind of things. So anyway, he's going to be the one that we're going to listen to. The lesson that he's doing there is called, I think, and I forget the exact title, Did God Create the World in a Literal 6 Days? Now, then that's an interesting question, right? Because if I asked you how long did it take God to create the world, what would your answer be? 6 days, right? But to me, when I say 6 days, that means 6 days. But a lot of people, if you ask that question a little differently and you say, how long did it take God to create the world? They might answer that differently, right? A lot of people think that it was millions of years or billions of years. So why is that? Why do people think that?
Because they're terribly confused and don't believe in God.
Because they're terribly confused. Well, I think that's true. Confused. I don't know that they don't believe in God. A lot of people who believe in God will say that it's a million years.
When God says he did it and you're going, I don't think you did, you don't believe in God.
Right. They don't believe in God the way that he said it. Right. So that's why there's confusion. And why is that? Why do people do that? Well, it's because, and at least I think it's because supposedly scientists have proved that the world is much older than what the biblical record would say. So they're trying to make it reconcile. So that's basically what he's talking about here. I would like to ask, assuming that we have a little bit of time after, which I hope we will, I want to talk a little bit about what he has to say. But the main gist of it is if God says he made it in 6 days, and you don't believe that he made it in 6 days, then you don't believe what God tells you. You limit his power. You cause all kinds of problems with biblical authority, undermine a whole lot of stuff. So people... Right, and that's kind of the point. What else falls once you do that?
The whole Bible does.
Yeah,
you can't believe Genesis 1:1.
Exactly. So this is a very important topic. It seems like it should be pretty. If you're a Christian and you believe that God is all powerful and created the world, that it seems like it should be a pretty clear thing, but it's not. In today's, in fact, I think he'll tell you that a lot of people who are Christians, who claim to be Christians and claim to believe in the Bible, will subscribe to evolution theory and to the Big Bang theory, which I like the statement that, I forget where this came from, but I believe in the Big Bang. God spoke and bang, there it was. But a lot of people believe in those evolutionary theories, and they think it's because that scientists have proven that that's the way it has to be, which isn't true, but that's why you see this. But anyway, we'll let him explain it. He's more the expert in this subject. So, Dave, if you want to start the... Oh, wait. Sorry, Dave, I forgot. I wanted to have DP read Genesis just so that we have what we're talking about here. Genesis 1 through 2:9, and then we'll start the video.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning, the first day. And God said, let the expanse in the midst of the waters, let it separate the waters from the waters. And God made the expanse and the separated waters were under the expanse from the waters, and above the expanse it was so. And God called the expanse heaven, and there was evening and there was morning, the second day. And God said, let the waters underneath the heavens be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the waters were gathered together he called seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let the earth without sprout vegetation, plants yield seed, and fruit trees bearing fruit, which is their seed, according to its kind on the earth. And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed, according to its own kinds, and trees bearing fruit, which is their seed, according to its own kind. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the third day. And God said, let the light in the expansion of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let the signs and for seasons and for years, days and years, let them be lights in the expanse and the heavens to give upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night and the stars. And God said, let the expanse of the heavens give light unto the earth, to rule over the day and to rule over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. There was evening and there was morning, the fourth day. And God said, let the waters swarm, and swarm with living creatures, and let the birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the heavens. So God created the great sea creatures, and every living creature that moves, which the waters swarm according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God thought that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the birds multiply on earth. There was evening, there was morning, and the fifth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their kind, livestock and creeping things, and beasts of the earth according to their kinds. And it was so. God made the beasts of the earth according to their kind, and the livestock according to their kind, and everything that creeps on the ground according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over their livestock, and all over the earth, and over every creeping thing that lives on the earth. So God created man in its own image. In the image of God he created them, male and female. He created them, and God blessed them. And God said, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds, and over the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of the earth, and every tree with its fruit and seed in its fruit. And you shall have them for food. And every beast on the earth, and every bird in the heavens, to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has breathed life, I have given for every green plant for food. And it was so. And God saw everything he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God finished his work that he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work that he had done. So God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because God rested from all his work that he had done in creation. And there were generations of heavens and all the earth that were created, in the day that the Lord had made the earth and the heavens, when no brush on the field was yet the land, and no small plant on the field had yet sprung up for the Lord. God had not caused it to rain on the land, and there was no man to work the ground. A mist was going up from the land, and was watering the whole face of the ground. And then the Lord formed man of dust, and from the ground he breathed into his nostrils, and breathed life. And man became a living creature. And God placed him in the Garden of Eden. In the east there he put up a man who he had formed. And out of the ground Lord made up spring up every tree in its pleasant, the sound of food, good for food, the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
All right. Okay.
Sorry
so
for everybody online there. We could not get the video to play, so we know we're working on it. So we can hear you now. So who knows? We had some problems. So everybody online, we can.
All right. Yeah, I saw you guys were working on stuff, so I assumed there was some online issues since we were okay here. Okay, so we only have a couple minutes to kind of talk through. He said a lot of important stuff in there as far as what theistic, what does he call it? I can't even say it. Theologic, whatever, evolution, the people who want to try to mix evolution into the Bible, the problems that causes. And a couple of things that really stood out, since I only have a couple minutes to go through here. I hadn't really thought of this before, but do you see how much it's emphasized that these were real days as you go through Genesis 1? Like, why did God have to emphasize that? Like, I'm sure he could have just said day 1, day 2, like, but it was evening and it was morning and day 1. Like, he was emphasizing that it was one day. And I think that's really important to this, because God knew what was going to happen and knew that these things were going to get questioned, and so he put in there and made it very clear this is a day. What makes a day? They try to go back to the sun. Well, the sun wasn't created until day 4, and so the first 3 days might have been longer than a normal day. Why? What's a day? It's a rotation of the earth, right? And he brought that point out. Was the earth created? Was it rotating? Yes. Was there light? Yeah. Was the sun there? No. But why question all of this that God says? Well, it's only because somebody has said, well, it's not possible that the earth isn't 1 million years old, or 1 billion years old, or 200 billion years. It just keeps going. They keep getting longer and longer with their stuff. So why is that? Well, it's because they haven't proven anything. Like, what makes them? Was anybody there when the earth was created? Yeah. What makes them know any more than we do? Oh, well, yeah. Maybe they're more learned in science. Maybe they've studied the rocks or the fossils or whatever a little bit more than a normal, ordinary person who's not considered a scientist. Maybe. But what makes them? They weren't there. They can't. It's all assumptions. You can't get around that. And so they haven't proven anything. And that's where the problem comes into play. Oh, it's been proven that the earth is this old. No, it hasn't. And then the other thing that really comes out to me is what he was saying about how it undermines the authority of the Bible whenever you go down that road. And do we see it in other places? Well, yeah, I emphasized that when we were going through Revelation, right? What are churches doing these days? They are saying, come in just as you are. Now, then, does the church say come in just as you are? Yeah, sure, we say that. But then they say, but you don't have to change. Just keep doing whatever you're doing. If you're practicing sexual immorality, if you're doing whatever, just keep doing it, but just come. You're good. That's not what the Bible teaches. That's not what God says. God says all sinners are welcome, but to be right with God, we have to make a change. We have to do what he says. So that was the other thing that really came out to me when as you're going through that. And there's a whole lot of stuff that he kind of touched on just a little bit that you could go really into detail on. And they do. They have a longer series that kind of discusses, well, what about the light problem, like stars and these things? What about other issues with that science that people supposedly have contradictory information from what the Bible says versus what science is saying. So they have other series like that, and you can get longer into it. But anyway, I thought that was good just to have one lesson on that, and just to remind everybody that the authority of the Bible is critical, and this, it's crystal clear when you read the Bible, but people want to try to mix it and play with it because they think that that's better somehow. All right, thanks for everybody. Sorry for those online who weren't able to watch the video, but the video, I don't know, maybe we could post where it's at, because it is out there. You can take a look at it, and then we'll be back in just a few minutes for worship. Thanks.